Things you don't want to know about goats. Anya's Kidding 2024.
I'm pretty sure we're gonna have babies really soon.
Thank you for visiting my channel. Today we're here to observe my goat giving birth. Anya is a mixed breed dairy goat who was born here 3 years ago. She's mostly Saanen with a little bit of La Mancha and Nigerian dwarf mixed in. This is her first kidding. While filming this video, I was live streaming on my Twitch channel. You'll hear me talking to people in chat every now and then. A friend of mine also visited. She's a new goat owner and she wanted to learn about kidding. We kept our voices low to reduce stress on Anya, so sometimes it's a little difficult to hear us. This video is made for educational purposes. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and comment with any thoughts and questions. I hope you enjoy my girl and her babies.
This is her first time giving birth, so things will possibly work a little bit slower than they would for a more experienced mama. But we never know, because goats make their own rules and they can do whatever they want to. That caught my attention. She was really quiet for a little bit, and I actually was considering trying to take a quick nap. But then, and she really wasn't moving around much as far as changing her position completely. But there were just too many times that she would kind of lay down and then just do these little shifty movements, like just adjusting her position once she was already laying down. And they looked like they might be small pushes. They might have also just been contractions. They might have also just been her shifting because she was uncomfortable, because she now has a huge udder and she has kids that are, you know, trying to get through the birth canal. So I saw that shifting, and that's what caught my attention. And I was like, you know what? I just want to go out and see it in person, because sometimes you can see things better, sir, in person. You can catch little things that you can't quite catch on the video. So that's why I came out, and I'm glad that I did, because as soon as she settled back down, then she did those couple little pushes right in front of me, and I was like, okay, they're definitely pushes. It's not just her, you know, shifting her weight or whatever. So she's a first-time mama. Sometimes they are amazing, and they can just take care of things. But sometimes it takes them a little while because their body is changing. Sometimes it takes a while for their body to get ready for that first kid to come out. So sometimes this stage can take a while.
Ooh.
Those are pushes.
Look at her face. She looks scared almost.
Yeah, she's scared. It's a first time mama.
Right,
she's in pain. She doesn't know what's happening to her yet.
I thought animals didn't have pain in birth.
Are you kidding me? They feel the same pain you feel, baby.
Really? But they don't look like... Have you ever watched a dog, for instance?
Well,
they're smaller.
because their instincts tell them to keep it quiet, because somebody might come and hurt them.
Interesting.
We're in hospitals where
They must not be, you know, we're screaming.
Oh, some of them will scream.
Really?
I don't think she will, because she's a quiet goat in general. But yeah, they scream. I've had some that have like blown out my eardrums. Most of them are quiet because they're prey animals. They have to be quiet. But every now and then you get one that screams at the top of their lungs. That was a bigger push. Oh, those are bigger pushes. We're getting down to business here, people. So we've got some real mucus happening here now. And that's mucus that can actually happen for like a couple weeks.
Yeah, I saw that for a couple weeks.
If it's a true string, if it's a mucus string, and it goes all the way down like to her udder, and oftentimes usually past her udder, and it's kind of thick, it's almost more like a mucus rope than a string, then that's saying babies are coming like within the next couple hours.
Right.
But that little bit of mucus there, that can come and go for weeks, for most of the winter. But I want her to have her privacy. Yeah. I don't want other goats messing with her.
For like bonding.
Yeah, I separate them. Well, so because of the weather and because of behavior from yesterday, I actually separated her last night, and I put Jeremy in here with her because they get along fine. You don't want to put them in with somebody that they don't get along with. If they have a mom or a daughter, or you know, a wether that belongs to them, then you put them in with. You basically just put them in with somebody that they get along with until this part starts. Once you start seeing real labor, you don't have anybody in with them. Just give them their privacy so they can feel safe, so they don't get messed with. And then yeah, I leave them together for, you know, weather and other circumstances can apply, but in general I try to leave them alone for 3 to 4 days on average. I've let them out sooner than that sometimes, and there's been times that they've been separated for like 2 or 3 weeks if there's a reason to. So it all depends on what goes on.
Maybe if we put the down.
A lot of them do this at this stage. I think they're getting the babies in order. Sometimes if they all try to enter the birth canal at the same time, this is one of the best ways to get them to straighten themselves out and be one kid at a time. You can hear those little grunts. That's telling you that there's pain. There's little pushes. Little pushes.
Little? She's jerking her whole body.
I know, those are still little pushes.
So what do you think, 2?
Look at that. This is a first-time mama with a belly that big.
You think maybe 3?
I think 3 or 4. I'll be really surprised if it's only 2. I'll be really surprised. It could be. It could be 1. But I will be really surprised.
Well, she's
if it's only 1 or 2.
Too, yeah.
But this is... So normally she wouldn't be this big as a first-time mama. She would have a smaller belly as a first-time mama if she only had 1 or 2 in there. As a general rule. Goats make their own rules, so nothing... they can do whatever
only
they
one
want.
comes out. You're like, well,
it's possible. When I
do you
need
have a hand
to,
scale or?
I use like a fish scale and I put them in a pillowcase. It scares them less if you put it in a pillowcase.
Right.
There's gonna be a lot of little pushes, and eventually there'll be some bigger pushes, and we'll see the amniotic sac will start to emerge. They call it the bubble, which I hate that term, but that's what everybody says, so that's what I refer to it as, so people know what I'm talking about when I'm talking goats. But it's basically the amniotic sac starts to emerge. It'll emerge until it reaches kind of a too big, too much pressure, and then it'll rupture, and that's her water breaking. And
Really?
Yep. And at that point, she'll take a break because the pressure doesn't make her feel like she needs to push as much anymore. And that's when the kids move up further, or the first kid moves up further.
So you see this, so it's not, you don't just see all of a sudden babies coming out.
Typically, no. Weird birthings happen, so you can never say no. And there are times that the amniotic sac ruptures before it even makes it to the vulva opening. So,
but we would see
like we would see water, we would see amniotic fluid come out, but not the bubble. I hate the bubble.
The bubble.
The bubble. I don't hate it. I hate the term. You know how to notice when the waters break. Yes, we have professionals in stream now that know what it looks like when the water breaks. That's a flamin'. She just sniffed her amniotic fluid, and now she's doing a flamin' response to smell it. So what she's doing now is she just keeps on repositioning herself so that the kids are in the right position, so that she is feeling comfortable. She's just trying to find the right angle, and some of it is that she needs to keep on moving around so that everything will come into place. Oh, she's yawning. She's been up all night.
You got a long night ahead of you too.
Actually, she'll sleep once they're nursing and they take a nap. She'll sleep right with them. She'll sleep tonight just fine. She'll have, she'll wake up to feed, but she'll sleep much better than she did last night. So this is what you're seeing now is a very normal first-time mama delivery so far. Lots of pauses, lots of just repositioning. She's literally teaching her body what it needs to do to make these babies come out, and her body is adjusting to all of that for the first time.
Whoa.
And because of that, it takes time to do that. It's much faster with an experienced mom. You can see just a little bit of opening at the vulva. That means the amniotic bubble, the amniotic sac is getting closer to the opening of the vulva. Gadget's an excellent heat detector. I will give him credit for that. That was a bigger push. You're okay, sweetheart.
How could you tell if, there was a kid stuck or...
So there's a rule of 30. I'll explain this because I think everybody in chat might want to know this too. There's a rule of 30, which is stretched based on my gut with first-time mamas. And really with any goats, but especially with first-time mamas, I will stretch it if I think that there's reason to. But your general rule is a rule of 30, which is that you want to, from the time that they start pushing for real, you want to see the amniotic sac within 30 minutes. That goes out the window as far as I'm concerned. As far as these early pushes that we're seeing now, I haven't even started the timer yet for her. So 30 minutes from real pushing, not just these beginning preliminary pushes, but real pushing, to seeing an amniotic sac. Once you see the amniotic sac, you should have a kid out and on the ground within 30 minutes. If a kid isn't out and on the ground within 30 minutes, you intervene. Then it should be no more than 30 minutes for the next kid to come out.
What are you doing? Are you reaching in?
Yep. Look.
You got coconut oil out here or something?
I got surgical lube, babe. Big tubes of surgical lube. So yeah, you're literally, you look first and then you reach in just with some fingers to see if you can feel what's going on. If you can't, you reach your whole damn hand in there. And then if that still is enough, I have literally been almost up to my elbow in a goat before, because that's what was needed to be done. So you do what needs to be done once you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You can't just make it up as you go.
That's what I feel like I would be doing.
And that's why you need a good mentor. And that's why, I mean, if I ever do stuff like that for you, I would be explaining it as I go, showing you what I can, all that stuff. Yep, exactly. Grab the hooves and start pulling. You got to make sure that the head is in line too, because, if the head's tilted back, then you're not going to get anywhere pulling hooves. A rule that is against what the experts, quote unquote, say, that I adopted several years ago at the recommendation of my vet, but that it's an important rule to me, is technically breech with the back legs coming out first is a proper position for goats to give birth. Technically, they can birth that way just fine. When the front feet come out and the mouth and the head comes out first, then if it gets kind of hung up in the birth canal, you can actually take the sac off of the baby's face and it can start breathing oxygen anytime, as long as its nose is out. If you're going back feet first, then obviously the head is still inside the mama. At some point, no matter what, when it's back feet first, when that baby comes through that birth canal, the umbilical cord is going to get pinched off and the oxygen supply is going to get shut down. And you don't know when during the process that cord is getting pinched. I learned on my 3rd year breeding that you don't mess around with that. And when you see back hooves, you just pull. You just take that baby out because you don't know when it's going to not have oxygen. And if you wait too long, then you end up with a dead baby. Mm-hmm. So that is my rule that goes against what they say, because they say to give it time. I'm not giving it time. I won't do that because you just don't know when the umbilical cord is getting pulled, when it's getting pinched off. Pulling hurts them more, so I really don't want to do it. I don't like pulling. Even if something's sticking out and I don't have to reach in, it still hurts when you start pulling. So literally, I try not to do anything. If I can help it, I try not to do anything. After delivery, yes. So we do offer tea to Anya when she's done. It's warm water mixed with some molasses, and she likes it. So yeah, this is the fun part. We just wait. We just let her body do what it needs to do, and we just give her the space and time to do it. And if and part of it really truly is gut. If my gut tells me that I need to intervene at any time, I just do. But I follow my gut and I follow my education, and I try my damnedest not to touch anything. Her body knows what it needs to do. If there's a problem, it's my job, but otherwise, give her the space and the time to do it. I don't want to make the birthing any more scary or painful than it has to be, and pretty much anything that I can do to intervene will cause either concern or pain. So we'll stay away from that. Those knickers are her practicing talking to her babies.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You'll hear once they come out, she'll start talking to them like this, like crazy. You doing okay, sweetheart? You can see she's just pausing, she's breathing, she's positioning, she's giving her body time. And this is the part that's hardest for me emotionally, is watching them in the pain, knowing that I can't do anything to help them. Pushing, little pushes. Getting a little bit more serious about things. Ooh. That's as close as that camera's allowed to go for right now. Don't worry, everybody, we have a brawl going on in the barn instead of just behaving and watching and being curious. We're just gonna do this. Goobers. I believe it. It's really a lot for a body to go through. Video, we're gonna have a snack. Let's just stop and have a snack. Everybody have a snack. No need to be pushing right now. We'll just have a snack. That was a serious push. You're such a good girl. And I have also seen videos of people who will, you know, at this point in a delivery, they would be up, like petting the mama and soothing her and stuff. And I'm certain that there are individual goats that might like that. But at this stage in labor, I think most goats don't want us messing with them. I don't think that they want to be loved on and cuddled right now. I think that they want to get through their process and do their thing, and I try to respect that. I give them their space. If they were to come over to me for comfort or whatever, then I would absolutely offer that to them. But they would need to initiate it. I had one girl, actually, sorry, not even one girl, Jeremy's mom, when she was in labor, in between contractions, she would come and just put her head on my lap and rest and breathe. And then she would walk away from me for the next contraction. But then as soon as that contraction was done, she'd be right back with her head in my lap. So some of them want that, and I give it when they want it. But I think most goats don't want us doing that. So if you see videos of people doing that, then hopefully they know their goat well enough to know that they want that. But I don't know if I believe that. Oh, those are big pushes. And they get bigger.
Been there.
Just wait. So I'm going to just take note of the time that it's 1:10. When she started with the bigger pushes, it's still going to be a pretty flexible start time for me, but those couple pushes, I think, move her into the category of we're not just taking our time anymore. But please note, I mean, you guys were watching with me, leading up to her pushing, she showed no contractions, and there are some goats that do that. She just pretended they didn't exist altogether, which was impressive. I had Merlot, she used to, whenever she had a contraction, she would just all of a sudden be completely still for like 30 seconds, and then she'd just go back about her way. And that's the only way that I knew that she had contractions. Most of my goats have shown contractions with a kind of arch their back like a cat stretch. You know what I mean? Not like that. She's being weird. Some of them do this a lot, but she's doing it more than usual. Kind of like arch their back like a cat, and that's when they're having a pretty strong contraction before they start pushing.
In the middle of the back?
Yeah. Think about like a Halloween cat with its back arched and its tail foofed. That kind of position, but not the tail. She's pushing, but she's a first-time mama, so it's taken a little while. Literally the first time that Merlot had her kids, which is why I told you to get here fast. When Merlot first had her kids, I didn't know that she was having contractions when she was still. I figured it out later. And then she did it again for her second birthing, so I was like, okay, that tells me what's going on. But she had her, basically the first sign that she was definitely in labor. I knew that things were happening. I knew it was coming. But the first sign that she was in labor was she laid down and started pushing, and within 2 minutes there was a kid on the ground.
What?
Yeah. So like some of them, they make their own rules. There are no set in stone rules. Every goat is different. Every kidding is different. Watch this. She's gonna push them both out right now. So for anybody that hasn't been here, goats most commonly give birth to 2 kids. Slightly less common than that is 3 kids. A little bit less common than 3 is actually 1. And then it goes down as we go up from there. So 4 and then 5 and then 6. So most goats give birth to 2 babies. It's the best number for them. But sometimes they have singletons, and we actually don't want singletons. Singletons oftentimes get too much nutrients during the pregnancy, turn into very large goats that can't come out of their moms and require C-sections. We don't want that. So we definitely want to wait on the singletons. So we always want at least 2. We've had, I don't even know how many sets of twins. We've had a bunch of sets of triplets. I lost count of those too. We've had, I think, 3 sets of quadruplets here. So we have definitely had multiples. So she's got a much longer string of mucus now, which is good. We're about 11 minutes into what I'm considering to be her half hour-ish. So if I don't see any sign of the bubble in another 15-ish minutes, I'm probably gonna at least try to figure out what's going on. Stretch, contraction. It's okay, baby. She's starting to shake now. It's scary. Can you imagine giving birth and not knowing what was happening? Like having no clue why you're in so much pain? Just knowing that your body is saying you have to do this and you don't have any choice. I always feel so bad for these first-time mamas. After the first time, they seem to understand what's going on. But the first-time mamas, man, it's rough. And they do get scared. She's trying to talk to her kids. That's the baby voice. That's the voice that mamas use with babies. She's trying to talk to her kids. Look at that big belly. Good girl. You're doing okay. You're okay, sweetheart. That's a bigger push. There we go. So that was her water breaking right there. Just her amniotic sac. That means we're having progress. That's a good thing. Good girl, sweetheart. Sherry is an expert on water breaking. Good girl. I absolutely love their little baby voices that they use to talk to their babies. It's so cute. This is the time that they sometimes will take a break after that first amniotic sac ruptures. But it looks like she's going to keep on going. Trying to get the best angle that I can with the GoPro. Without interrupting her and distracting her, upsetting her. Good girl. Good girl. Oh, we're definitely making progress. Big progress now. 128. Caprise, thank you so much. Out with thee. That's fantastic. Anya, you're getting motivation from chat. Chat's telling you to push the baby out. Wait, I see a hoof. I see a hoof. I see two hoofs. Good girl. I see a nose. We're just going to let her do this. Do what she needs to do. Good girl. What I'm looking for. Wait a minute. Hold on. Oh, yes. We've got a baby. Okay, hold on. Hello, friend. Hi. How about you breathe? There we go. Good baby. We've got an adorable baby. Guys, we got a baby. Caprise, the cheer worked. The bits totally worked. Jeremy's calling to her. How sweet. He's calling to her from outside. He's worried about her. What do you think, ma'am? What do you think? I really hope my friend gets back soon. There's going to be another one coming out soon. Oh, they're coughing. They're coughing and coughing. What's happening? What's happening? There's a little alien back here. Oh, that was another push. She's working on number 2. Oh my gosh, my friend is going to totally miss this. Oh, I feel so bad. Baby number 1 is breathing, coughing. If you listen carefully, you can hear the coughing, and he just did a little nicker, so we might get more voice from him, from it. I don't even know what it is soon. Its back end is still inside of her, so I don't know what's going on. Pushing. Pushing. I see an amniotic sac. Hooves, or a hoof. We got 1 hoof, 2 hooves, 2 hooves of the second kid. Good girl. That's the little voice of the baby. Good girl. Good girl. The second kid is bigger. The hooves are definitely bigger than the first one. I'm gonna give her some time to work it out. We're gonna give her some time. The hooves are much bigger, so it's a much bigger kid. She's gonna need, the one that she gave birth to is actually kind of on the little side. Keep going. She's looking back at the baby being like, what is that thing? Look at that cute little baby. Oh my god, I'm dying. Can you hear it? Hi, baby. Little baby voice. Little baby face. Anya, what did you do? Did you make a baby? Isn't it ridiculously cute? This is like painful. It's so amazing. Look at that little baby. So Mama's gonna clean them all up. We're gonna help soon. I'm gonna give her time to get the other one out first. The other one's out. I'm certain there's more. Usually starts with their face. Make sure they can breathe okay. Yeah, they get them breathing. This is a first time mama, so this is 100% instinct that she's working on. That her instincts are just telling her she's got to start licking this baby, and she doesn't know why. Licking also stimulates them to breathe if they're not breathing yet. This is the cutest dang thing, holy heck. There we go. Now you understand why I freak out so much when it's kidding season and we have babies on the way. Look at this. Anya ears, I think so. Yeah, they're pretty big. Yeah, Capras, they are pretty big. They're pretty big for that little. So that's a little baby. That's, I mean, it's not tiny, but that's definitely on the small side. It's not quite white. I think it's going to be blonde. We won't know for sure until it's dried off, but it looks pretty blonde to me. It's not white. You need a cute little monster. She's totally distracted by this. She forgot that she's got another kid coming out. We're going to give her a little bit of time. This baby's fine. The other baby is perfectly fine. Just hanging with little hooves sticking out. But yeah, she's totally forgotten about the other baby, and she's just so excited about this one. I love how they talk back and forth. They memorize each other's voices. So in a herd, they can find each other just by their voice later. So this is them talking back and forth, memorizing each other's voices. That was a push. That was another push. That's a pretty small baby for a goat her size.
Well, I was gonna say, that looks like smaller than my
this
mix.
This is smaller than I would expect for this size of a mama. So she just did some more pushing, but then she held off a little bit, and she's doing okay. So I have seen 2 hooves come out of her, but then she got distracted with looking at the baby, and she forgot that she's supposed to be giving birth to more, so we're just giving her a few minutes.
So she retracted back.
Yeah, she stuck her butt up in the air, and the baby sucked back in. Okay, laying down, we're going to get serious about the second kid right now. Yeah. This is a much bigger kid. The hooves are much bigger. So this is going to be harder on her. We're just going to, we'll help if we need to, but we will give her time to figure it out first. Yeah. That's exactly what I mean. Good girl, keep pushing. I know, this one's going to hurt more, honey. He said he's off the hook because Chester was the dad. Gadget, that's awesome. Big hooves. Look. Oh, there's a nose. There's a nose. Oh, it's a big baby, honey. Remember when we talked about yelling?
Yeah, I just oh my goodness.
Look at it!
I'm sorry, I'm really bad with this.
We've got a little white one for you, Sherry. Breathing already. Her little face. Ooh. Oh, you're gonna have horns. Yeah, that's a horned little boy. So he's gonna be going elsewhere. So there is a second baby back here. Anya has not figured out that there's a second alien here yet. She'll get there.
Oh my goodness. Was that more fluid?
Yeah, that was an amniotic sac that broke. It had darker color to it, so that means it's meconium. So that means the next kid is a little bit stressed. It means that it pooped in its amniotic sac.
Like labor for so long.
Yeah, and it's really, really common with first-time mamas to have some meconium in there. Really common because they kind of hold off on the pushing because they're scared and they don't know what's going on.
Right.
They're less likely to do that later. Yep, number 3 is on the way, Jude. At least, well, she's pushing and a sac came out, so I'm assuming there's a triplet in there, which is not surprising to any of me at all. I'm gonna move the boy over to her so that she can start drying him off. Oh, look, you got another one. Did you hear that? Did you hear that cute little voice? She's like, oh, thank you. Okay, next one on the way out. I see the amniotic sac. By the way, if she was like totally stressed by me doing this, I wouldn't be here. I would just be like, screw filming. But she doesn't care that I'm here at all, so I'm doing it.
Well, yeah, your mama, so I feel like.
I mean, I was literally here when she was born. So she's lived here her whole life. We've got a pretty good trusting relationship. Oh, he's trying to get up already. He's gonna try to stand up. Amniotic sac. She's pushing again. I can actually see better on the screen than I can.
To look.
Yeah. Do you have any? No hooves yet.
So you said the dark fluid is.
So
stress.
if it's red, it's not a big deal. Unlike with horses, where red is bad. But yeah, if it's like a yellow or brown color, that means that they are stressed out and they've passed meconium before being born. It just means that they were ready to come out.
With every baby?
Yes, and there's one placenta, but a sac, at least one sac with every baby.
I thought they came out in the sac.
Well, they would if it didn't break. I've had some come out in their sac, but it usually breaks on the way out. I mean, it's still intact right now. Can you see it?
Yeah, the bubble comes. I see what
Yeah.
you're saying. Okay. Makes sense.
Good girl. Good girl. You can do it, honey.
My goodness, I can imagine pushing out this many kids in a row.
Seriously. Seriously. I mean, most that I've ever had here is 4, but there are some that have had like prints and sextuplets. There's hoof. I see a hoof. I see a nose. A second hoof. Oh, another big one.
Yeah, that is
This is a big friend.
Oh boy, that
Wow.
the second one.
Oh, hello, baby. My goodness.
Wow,
Wow.
one's bigger than the other one.
I think it is bigger than the other one. We got a third baby out. It is breathing. So this is number 3. Hello, friend. Oof, oof. Oh, we're sneezing. This one's coughing. I think, so what I do, if the cord hasn't ruptured, the cord ruptures almost every time when they come out. If the cord hasn't ruptured yet, I leave the baby where it is. But if the cord ruptures, I don't mind moving it up to be in front of her. Oh my God, that's a big kid. So we have babies. Look at these little beasties. Oh, sorry. She's like, excuse me. Hi. You gonna lick the camera? Mama's cleaning them up, doing all the work. So now we wait a little bit longer and we see what happens. So the challenge with the next one, if she doesn't start pushing and just take care of things herself, then we have to watch for signs that she's done or signs that she's not. And thankfully, with experience, you start to figure out the difference between just normal in-between kid discharge versus the stuff that comes out when they're gonna have their placenta come out. And the placenta is the last thing that comes out, and that means that they're done. Yeah, we're gonna. I just want to give her a minute to make sure that she's not gonna start pushing again right away. But yeah, so when the temps are warm enough, I don't, because no need to.
Right.
But and it's not freezing cold right now, but it's colder than I want it to be with them being soaking wet. So yeah, we're gonna help dry them off. Thankfully, one of the incredible people in chat sent us some towels because I used up all the last of my old ratty towels last year. So we have brand new fancy towels. Looks like she has little pushes. Yeah, and sometimes that can be just uterine contractions as the uterus goes back to normal. But it's usually little pushes. Yeah, little pushes are needed to get the placenta out. They all have big ears, yes. Look at that! Listen to their voices. Oh, their little voices. I can't handle it. Yeah, I think it might only be 3, which I'm fine with. Let's grab some towels. We're gonna just reposition the kids so that we can access them and just help with the drying process. She will be able to get them dry just fine. She doesn't actually need our help. My concern is just that it's really cold out, or it's colder out than I'm used to, or than I'm comfortable with. I don't want them to be cold. I don't want them to get chilled. So she would dry them off, just a matter of what will their body temp do in the meantime. My coat, because my sleeves are soaking wet. Towel for you. And if you want to go and grab, what I want to do is grab the 2 bigger ones and bring them just barely on this side of her, and then we'll work on them with the towel. And then we'll let her keep on working on number 1 because she seems to be doing pretty well with that. And she'll probably flip around and help us with it too. Hello, friend. Hi. Hello. It's okay. We're right here. Can you get closer to her so she can?
The legs are so long. Yeah. You're doing a good job, Mama.
Girl, you are an incredible first-time mama. Look at you. Look at you go. I always worry about their legs the most because those are the things that she cleans off the last. When babies are first born, they have like a gel coating over their hoof so that they don't tear mama's uterus on the way out.
Interesting.
So
and that falls off as they start to
like
walk?
within the first handful of hours, it dries up and falls off.
Here, you want it closer?
Second towel. You can just let that one drop and then just be on it. Oh, that was good effort.
Good.
Good effort, little fry.
Big. trying to mess up what you're doing here, but you don't want
Just trying to help.
Give me that. This one's trying to like suck on me.
Sorry, we just want to get the preliminary stuff taken care of for you guys, okay? And then do you know about dipping the umbilical cords in iodine?
I did read that. I didn't have iodine on hand, and I didn't know how late you could do it.
You should do
But
it.
they seem to
You should
be
do it
fine.
at least twice a day until the cords are dried out. So if they're fine, then that's fine. But if they're not, then you'll find out. They get very, very sick. If it
You would see
becomes a problem.
redness and stuff around
Nope.
them. Oh,
Nope.
really?
Nope. It just goes right up the cord and right into their bloodstream.
Oh, wow. So 2 girls.
So we got 2 girls, 1 boy. So number 1 and number 3 are girls. Number 2 is male. What's happening over there? You just taking a nap? Can you pick her up? Just throw her over here. She was just taking a nap. She's just sleepy. So you can see the difference in color.
This one looks like
Oh,
some of mine.
shoot, hold on. You can see the difference in color between the first baby and the second
The
two.
size difference.
And the size difference is huge.
But she would be wanting to push if there was another, right?
So theoretically, yes. But my second year with kids, which was the year that Jeremy was born, I had one that gave me beautiful triplets, actually very similar. They had, it was 2 pure white, 1 slightly off-white, not as dark as this one. Beautiful, beautiful babies. And I was like, awesome, we got triplets, woohoo! And so I'm helping clean them up and, doing all the things. And all of a sudden, an hour later, she pushed and I was like, what? Hold, wait, ha. And she popped out a 4th one. So if the 4th one is like all the way like shoving up against her ribs and her diaphragm, when these ones get shoved out, sometimes it takes them a little bit to get all the way up to start stimulating her to push by being in the birth canal. So sometimes they need to swim around a little bit before they can pop out. Your little ears are still wet. I have to make them clean and dry. She's got personality. This one's got spunk. See, that was a push. Push.
Will they do that for the placenta though? Or?
Yeah, there is some pushing with placenta, but we're still going to pay close attention because it's very possible she's got a number 4 in there. It is very possible. So we're just going to prepare for that just in case. Any horns on the last one? So with girls, you can't tell. With girls, you can't tell when they're born if they're going to have horns or not. We just have to wait. With the boys, if you can feel little bumps, then they're going to have horns. And if they have a smooth head, then they're not going to have horns. So boys, I can tell immediately. Girls, we have to just wait and be patient to find out later. We'll know probably within a week or so. This one's literally like sucking air, trying to find a teat, any teat. She looks pleased with her babies. She does. She's very happy to be a mommy now.
Yeah, little one over there is like napping again.
Yeah, she's a little sluggish. We'll get her. She's just a little chilly. So we have tricks. Tricks of the trade when they get a little chilly like that is number 1, dry them off, get a drink into them, if she'll ever stand up. You can use a hairdryer. I use that as a last resort only because it scares the mamas to death. And I don't like stressing them out when they've just given birth and they're going to freak out. Because you don't want things with heating elements in barns.
Right,
It's
obviously.
just begging for fires. So I go into the house and I'm going to load up some 2-liter soda bottles with hot water. Bring them out here. They're hot water bottles. It'll help a lot. It's amazing how much helps. If you put them, like, tuck them under a blanket, under a towel with a water bottle. And I'm going to grab dry towels too. We got one standing. Can you point it over to when it's standing up? We got somebody standing and walking.
See the size difference? I don't know, you can't really tell. It's hard for the angle. It's so much smaller. You can do it.
So I'm going to move out all the wet towels and place them with all new dry ones. You're fine.
She's like, put me down.
So before the first kid is born, you have to be really mindful of not stressing out mom as far as being near her. But then once the first kid is born, she's so busy that most moms don't mind doing this kind of stuff now. She would have minded this very much before she gave birth. But now that she's given birth, she doesn't care. She's like, whatever. You're fine. We're just gonna have some friends come and hang out with your babies. You don't have to lick them. And we're just gonna make little tents to hold in the warmth. These water bottles actually really do help a lot. You're okay.
Will you continue to
Water bottle them?
to make them warm? Because obviously in 45 minutes to an hour they won't be warm anymore. Will you go get refresh?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I will do it all night long if I have to keep them warm. It's gonna be a chilly night tonight, so I probably will be doing it a lot. One thing that I will do is my friend who gave me this great idea actually uses a cardboard box and puts a hot water bottle into the cardboard box, puts the box on its side, takes a towel and drapes it over the side and the front. So the front has a towel that they can move, throw the kids in the box with the hot water bottle. It actually makes a nice little kid oven. It works really, really well. They kid out mostly in January and February. So sometimes they have newborn kids and negative temperatures.
Oh, goodness.
Which I will never want to do. Ever.
No.
Jeremy was born under those kinds of conditions. What else was I supposed to have? I can't remember. Okay, I'll show you the thing now. So the second one I intervened just a tiny bit. So the widest part of a kid being born is their shoulders. That's the hardest part for the mom to get through the birth canal and through the vulva. Most kids present with their little feet, their little hooves here, and their nose right here. And so when they're squeezing out like this, if it's a little one like number one, she came out without me intervening because she was like this, and she just popped out because she's little. But if you look at how much wider this becomes at the shoulder, which is already the widest part, when you're like this, it can be too much. Number two, it was too much. She was pushing as hard as she could, and she was not making any progress at all. Hi, sweetheart. So all that I did was I just grabbed one hoof and just pulled this leg out, and grabbed another hoof and pulled this leg out, and that makes this area way easier to deliver. So they're supposed to be born like this, but they hardly ever are. They're almost always like this. So whenever I see that it's a big hooves and she's struggling, I'll just pluck those legs out.
Oh, it was a way. Was it the way to check to see if there's more in there?
Oh yeah, baby bump. So if she stands up, I'll show you. So baby bumping only works, so many people do not understand this, only works after at least one kid has been born. You can't do a baby bump on a fully pregnant goat that hasn't given birth yet, because they're filling up all the space.
Yeah.
The point of the baby bump is that there's extra space in there that you can work with. So after the first kid is born, you can do a baby bump, where if she were standing up, I would straddle my legs right in front of her back legs, reach my arms down right in front of her udder, and you pull up gently, you know, as much as you can without causing discomfort to her, and then you let it go down quickly. And what will happen is if there's another kid in the birth canal with their little feeties up here, when you pick them up, they come up, and when you drop your hands down, their little bum hits the bottom of the belly. So you can feel that there's another kid in there.
So you keep your hands on the belly.
Yep, you keep the hands on the belly and feel it, and you'll feel their bum hit. And that's how you know that there's another kid in there. And yeah, the other thing that warms them up the most is just getting colostrum into them, getting them drinking. So hopefully she'll choose.
Well, yeah, that's what they say about adult goats, right? As long as they're, like, if they're eating, it's making them...
But hay, not grain. Grain actually makes them cooler.
Oh.
Digesting hay makes them warmer.
Okay.
It's a weird thing, but they did, because with horses, giving them corn or oatmeal before a cold night helps them stay warmer. But they're monogastric. They only have one stomach. For goats, it's actually better to give them
How many
hay.
stomachs do goats have?
4.
Are you
they
serious?
technically they have one
How did I not know this?
stomach with 4 chamber-like things that are kind of all their individual stomachs that kind of work together as a stomach. So yeah, they're ruminants, so they've got 4 chambers.
Interesting.
Oh, and cud. Really quickly, cud. So cud is when goats eat, they eat very quickly. They eat very, very quickly, and they just like kind of shove all the food down as quickly as they can. They put it into their first stomach, or stomach chamber. And because when they're eating, they're out in the open. Then they go somewhere like the barn or their loafing area, somewhere that they feel safe. They lay down and they start chewing their cud. That is when they actually regurgitate one mouthful at a time up into their mouth, and then they re-chew it, and then it bypasses their first stomach and goes right into their second stomach once it's better chewed. So basically, the way that they're eating it first, they can't digest it well that coarse. They need to chew it up and re-swallow it. So that's what chewing their cud is. They're actually like second chewing their whole meal that they just ate.
Do you ever like kind of try to get them to stand up?
I try very hard not to. I try very, very hard not to.
Or do they stay down more if there's another potentially in there?
I try to give her the time. I mean, she's just pushed out 3 babies.
Yep.
So I would rather her decide to do it. Sometimes the best way to get them up is just move the kids over like 5 feet.
Or they move themselves.
They might be doing that themselves just fine. Look at, yep, see? This one starts to walk away. She's like, here we go. Oh, this one's... You're peeing. You're peeing right, you're just standing right in front of me peeing? It's kind of rude. So, number 3 baby is very close to succeeding. She is, and Anya is standing very still for this. A lot of first-time mamas are like, why are they trying to get my udder? And they actually get really offended by the aliens trying to get their udder. But she's actually, she's trying. She's trying to just be there for them. That's really sweet.
So she's kind of like in that birthing position still.
Yeah, so that's one thing that we've noticed for the last couple of days. Here, can you take that for me a second? Sorry. This one's staying kind of snug, so I'm just going to warm her up, or give her a little bit more warmth. If she wants to get up, we can help her get up, but right now if she's going to stay there and be sluggish, I'm going to let her stay there and warm up. So, her hooves, her mom had horrible hooves too. Her hooves are not good. And I couldn't get them trimmed up when she was late in pregnancy, which I think that carrying all of that extra baby weight kind of made them hurt more. And I'll trim them up probably tomorrow, maybe even tonight if I can make it happen. So I think that just with the extra weight, they started hurting her more, so she's been doing this a lot. But they do that a lot when they're in labor anyway, so it's not like it's totally crazy.
Right.
But I think that them being a little bit sore made it so that she does this more than normal. Oh, and another secret for towels. Take one towel from the kidding and put it in a plastic bag and label it with what the mama's name is and put it in the freezer. You can put it in my freezer if you don't have a non-food freezer. I have non-food freezers. Put it in the freezer. Keep it there for like a month. Because if you have any problems with either the mama rejecting babies, or if another mama rejects their babies and you're trying to graft a baby onto this mama, you can thaw out that towel, warm it up a little bit, rub it all over the kid, and she'll be more likely to take it back because it smells like her again. It's crazy and awesome. That's a trick that I learned years ago, and I do that. I freeze one towel from every kitting, and then, you know, after like a month or so, I'll thaw it out and clean it, and it's fine. She's just over there warming. She's literally got her head on a bottle. Yeah. So we'll get these guys warm. I'll close up a little bit better because I'm still up there. I'm not sleeping at all tonight. I'm not sleeping.
I've already had those.
Yeah, I'm not sleeping well tonight at all. And then I'm gonna put a curtain over the back of this door to stop any drafts coming in there. And then, yeah, we're gonna make little kid ovens with boxes and bottles, and I'm gonna put bottles all over the place, and I'm gonna be coming out here every couple hours, and because I mean, once they're completely dry,
Just bring a pillow and put it on the
I have in the past, and I may again. You never know. Once they're dry, then they're probably going to be fine even if I do nothing. They will probably be perfectly fine even if I do absolutely nothing to keep them warm tonight. It's just colder than I'm comfortable with, so we're going to just take... A lot of people put clothes on them, but according to science, that makes it worse.
Yeah, because then you're
Smushing down.
them.
Yeah, you're smushing down. I mean, their warmth stays in amongst their hairs. So if you smush down the hairs, then they don't have any hairs to keep them warm because it's all smushed. Yeah. So I don't put clothes on them. I'll do bottles. I'll come out and, you know, snuggle with them. I'll make sure they're snuggling with mom, you know, that kind of thing. But I don't put clothes on babies unless there's a reason to, which I haven't experienced that. Except I did try with Jeremy when he was first born because I didn't know any better. But I know better now, so I don't. What are we doing over there? We're just going to get lost in the corner? So yeah, I'll continue drying them off and getting them all situated, getting them warmed. But yeah, at these temps, they might get chilly, but they might not. So within the next day or so, she'll expel the placenta. It's okay to just leave it until she does.
I was going to say, how long do you wait?
If the stuff that's trailing in ahead of the placenta, it's like a day or two with goats. After a day, I would contact my vet. But like, you know, tomorrow morning I would contact, but not before then. But I think that they can have up to 48 hours before it becomes a problem with goats. With horses, it's literally like 2 hours. It's ridiculously fast. So she's going to have some ickiness hanging from her before it comes out. And you leave that. If it's down dragging, if it's low enough that it's dragging on the ground, then you tie a washcloth around it and kind of tie it up so it's not touching it, and the washcloth adds a little bit of weight to help pull it out. Never actually pull it out because you can literally cause your goat to bleed to death. So it should come out.
Right there, I was like asking, I'm like, what do you
exactly.
But that looks like another bubble, doesn't it? Or is that like the placenta?
It's so some fluid will come out and stuff. That looks to me like the placenta is starting to come out. That looks like I think she's done. She might not be, but I think she's done based on that. Yeah, so you never pull on it. You give it time. And then they try to eat it sometimes.
Yeah, mine both were, Sapo was licking in.
I tend to go with, there's a reason that they try to eat it. And if they want to, I want to let them. Because that's their thing. Yeah. I leave it with them for like an hour or two. Yeah, if they eat it, then they eat it. And if they don't, I take it away. And most of the times, if they're gonna, that's when they're gonna do it. I prefer to have them get a drink right off the bat so that when they take these naps, which they always take a nap not long after getting born, when they take these naps, I like for them to be full, but she's making that difficult, and they are fine. They're okay. Cute little beast. So yeah, I prefer for them to take their first nap on a full belly, but if they're not gonna, or if she's not gonna get up, then I'm not gonna freak out about it. There you go. There you go. Go see your mommy. There you go. Alright, now, we're going to... Oh, you feel nice and warm and toasty now. Oh, that's so much better. I'm gonna put you right up next to mommy. Right up next to mommy. And we're gonna put a bottle on you. And a towel over you. There we go. I know, you really want a drink. Here, you come back here. Let's see if we can get you to drink down low. Some kids that are really motivated to drink will reach down to get things, but it's It's more rare. What a good little girl. Are you the girl or the boy? You're the boy. You're the boy causing trouble? Yeah, you are. Okay. There you go. Get to know your mommy. Okay. The other one is on the other side of her. The one on the other side is not shivering at all, but I'm still gonna give her a bottle and a towel. Just in case she needs a little bit of extra warmth. You're very, very cute. Hi, sir. I'm not concerned yet about any of them as far as activity level and temperature and stuff. I'm not too concerned yet. It will happen. There will be a time when I'll get concerned, but this is still well within the realm of normal. And we have things that we can do to fix things. So I think the biggest thing is just going to be that we will need to convince Anya to get up soon, because I really do want them to get drinking. But I was also thinking, so I don't help them to stand up or to nurse at first. I give them plenty of opportunity for them to figure it out for themselves, partially because they need to develop the muscles and the coordination for that kind of stuff. And they need to learn where, they have to learn the landscape of their mom to figure out where the important things are. And the way that they do that is by stumbling around and doing it wrong a whole bunch of times until they get it right. And so I will intervene if needed, but not immediately. I don't like it when people are just immediately picking up babies and trying to help them stand and stuff. That's not necessary. They don't need us to do that. They need to figure it out for themselves. You want to get them nursing within the first hour of life if you can. It's not always perfectly happening, and they can be fine if you don't. But that's best practice, is to try to get them nursing within the first hour. Their intestines can only absorb the antibodies from the colostrum for so many hours. I think it's 24-ish hours, and that clock starts not when they're born, but, not immediately when they're born. Within reason, it doesn't start when they're born. It starts... Oh, you're gonna lay down on a bottle? How cute is that? You can snuggle with a bottle. It's too far away. That's too far away for you. So the colostrum, the clock within reason, within the first couple hours of life, it actually doesn't start when they're born. It's when they first ingest something is when the clock starts, and then you have to make sure that they get enough colostrum in. There we go. Okay, we've got you up. All right, I'm gonna stand back for a minute, see if they can figure out their own stuff, their own business. She's pawing at them, which is actually their way to try to stimulate them to nurse. Hold on, I gotta get things out of the way so that they can do their things now that they're actually moving around. I'm also going to... I'm going to take hay and cover over this big wet spot from the first one being born. Because I don't want them to get re-wetted. Once I'm able to, I'm actually going to muck all of that stuff out. But I can't do that right this minute. So what I do instead is I put down dry stuff on top of the wet stuff, and we deal with the wet stuff later. Oh, you're going to eat it? Hopefully I can just sit back and we can just watch them figure this stuff out for a little while. You can already see they're getting a lot fluffier, which means they're drying off, which will help them keep warmer. I'm going to line up the bottles over here so that they can snuggle with the bottles if they want to. I'm just going to put the bottles there. That's where the babies last year all snuggled, so this will give them some warmth to snuggle with. All right, time for these guys to figure out their stuff. And number 3, the second girl, is working on the problem right now. Well, we're close. We are close. Very close. She needs to go down a little bit. The tails, I know, isn't that so cute? Those are their begging tails. That's how they visually cue mom to drop down her milk. This one's trying to nurse on that one's armpit or elbow, whatever. This one just needs to go down a little bit and she'll be right there. Oh, she got closer. Closer. And remember that this is a process with first-time mamas. Anya has to learn how to let them nurse too. She has to learn to let them nurse just as much as they need to learn how to nurse. Oh, we're sucking at something. Not quite there yet. This one is really working at it. She's like, I'm going to figure this out. She's so close. Oh, Anya, let her drink, honey. I love the little knickers. The baby knickers, the mommy knickers. I love it. You got a messy face, kid. You got a very messy face. Sorry. Can I just get your face? I just want to clean off your little face. It's still very wet and it's got blood all over it. Ooh. Come here. Let me see your face. Alright. Alright, you can do it. Look at the male. He's just like, I don't know what is going on, but this is insanity. Alright, so we'll give Anya another chance to figure out how to get these babies doing what they need to do. If not, I might, because she's a first-time mama, if they can't figure it out soonish, I might hold her still, which I hate doing, but that happens. Alright, we got tails wagging. We're looking. I just need her to keep her feet down when they go back there and it's time. She put her foot up and stopped it last time. You can't nurse from the water bucket. That won't work either. So she was born here. So she's one of my special girls. I've known her since literally the moment she was born, just like this. I was out here for her birth too. Are you taking a nap? If you're gonna take a nap, I'm gonna move her to the warmer areas for the nap taking. Go find your mommy, sleepy little girl. Yeah, you're pawing at them to eat, but you have to let them eat. You have to actually let them eat. Yeah, you snuggle the water bottle. You go that way. You also go that way. Here. We're gonna just snuggle you in the bottle for a little bit. Okay? So she is trying to get them to nurse, but she's not quite sure what she actually wants them to do. She just knows that she wants them to do something. Nope, turn around. Go see your mommy. Nope, nope, go see mommy. Go that way. So I've got little one number one right here with a water bottle and a towel. If we can get the other two drinking, this one will follow suit very quickly because she'll watch and learn. Nope, turn around. Go that way. Go that way. Also, just to put this into perspective for everybody, at this point in her life, Anya was trying to suckle from the wall at the back of the milking room, like underneath the window. She was trying to suckle from there. So this is not wrong. This is actually really common. Can you stand still and let them nurse? You think you can handle it? Just stay right there. Nope, nope, oh. Alright. Okay. I'm going to try to set this one up here with the water bottles and the towel. You just stay there and be patient. She's standing still for a minute, so I'm giving her a second. The baby that's back there is really close to latching on. Like, really close. Oh, we got a latch. Alright, the baby that's back there is latched on and drinking. And she's going to move because she's freaked out by it. Alright, so that's the little girl, or the bigger girl figured it out first. Okay. There. She's getting frustrated. She knows they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing, which is drinking. But she doesn't know she doesn't know what they're supposed to be doing, and she doesn't know how to get them to do it. Here. Hi. You gotta turn around. Head that way. Okay, so the bigger girl has latched on. We know that she can figure it out. Now we need to watch for the other ones to figure it out. And right now, I'm keeping this one down for right now. While these guys figure their stuff out to warm her up and she'll learn faster if she can just watch them do it. So we'll just give them a chance to figure it out, and then we'll give her a chance. Can you stay still and let them drink, please? Ma'am? This is a very common baby problem. Very, very, very common. This is just chaos. Alright, this one's still, I've got her lined up with water bottles and 2 towels on top of her. She's warming up. and I'll get her up and walking soon. But right now, getting her warm is more important than getting her up.
This was a near textbook kidding for a first-time mama goat. All 3 kids were standing, walking, and nursing within the first few hours. Keeping them warm the first night was a challenge, but they all did well. Every kidding is different. We have to be prepared for anything that could happen. If you're planning to breed goats, please learn as much as you can, both about normal kidding and possible kidding complications. Find a good mentor and learn as much as you can from them. Each year that you breed goats, you'll learn more and gain confidence. Even after 12 years, I'm still learning. If you want to join us live while a goat is giving birth, find us on Twitch. As for these kids, the firstborn girl is polled and will be staying here with us. The thirdborn kid is a girl who has horns. The 2 horned kids will be going to live at a new farm once they are weaned. We named the first kid Little Bit. She's quiet and sweet with a tiny voice. The second kid is Limey. He enjoys getting other goats to play with him. And the third kid is April. She's bold and adventurous. They are all thriving and growing quickly. Thank you for stopping by. We apologize for sharing this information with you. Please like and subscribe for more goat shenanigans. Join us on Twitch to see the goats live.